by Whitney Taylor. Broadly, information security is how we protect our intellectual capital, or what we know. This includes both accidental and intentional misuse and can pertain to anything from patents to customer lists. We protect these assets through the use of both people and technology. The first line of defense is our employees. To utilize them for protection, we need to create a security plan that incorporates 5 simple steps. Step number 1 is develop the policies. Number 2, communicate the policies. 3, identify our assets and our risks. 4, test and reevaluate. And 5, get support. Step 1 basically determines the policies that allow your company to protect itself efficiently. These are simple steps such as logging off the computers and changing passwords. Communicating the newly formed processes is an important step. You need to make sure your employees are aware of punishments, for lack of a better term, that will ensue misconduct on the computers. Identifying risks and assets is something I feel managers sometimes fail to do. With security breaches on the rise, this step is essential. We need to make sure that our computers have the appropriate protections, such as firewalls. Testing also is an important step of developing a security plan. Companies should perform security audits and reviews to find out if the plans are working correctly. If everything goes great and no security breaches have been reported or seem likely, then our policies have succeeded. However, if they are likely, then we need to revert back to step 1 and see what went wrong. Our plan isn't going to be effective if we don't have support from the investors. Therefore, the last step is to get their approval. With our first line of defense being people, our second line of defense is to invest in technology. This is especially necessary if you have flaws in your people defense. Technology forms 3 areas of defense mechanisms. 1, authentication and authorization. 2, prevention and resistance. And 3, detection and response. The first area, authentication and authorization, are basically the confirming of the user and allowance of him or her access. The techniques used in this technological process are user knowledge, such as company IDs and passwords, something the user has, such as ID cards and tokens. Tokens are items that change passwords frequently to reduce the chance of someone learning it and using it. Lastly, we could use part of the user as authentication, but this is costly as it requires highly skilled equipment to read things such as fingerprints, voice, and handwriting. These authentication and authorization techniques limit the availability for identity theft and phishing, both of which are someone illegally obtaining personal information of another and using it illegally, usually for fraud. Our next area of protection is the prevention and resisting of intruders. This is done through content filtering, encrypting information, and using firewalls to block unwanted material from getting in or out. Our last area of protection is the detection and response of intruders that get past the prevention phase. This is especially important because even a single virus intrusion can cause massive damage to a company's network. In summary, our defense is to protect our company's intellectual capital, our trustworthy employees, and investing in good technology. This has been a presentation for Arkansas State University's College of Business, Computer and Information Technology Class 3013, a Spring 2008 final project.